Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. And today we have a Glenfarclas whiskey on the cask. It's a very special Glenfarclas whiskey because it's the Glenfarclas No. 24 Robert Brown. And this whiskey, this series of whiskeys honors distinct personalities in Scottish history. And Robert Brown was a famous scientist within the Scottish community, and he lived from 1773 until 1858, and he was a famous botanist and a doctor, and he was known for the observation of the random movement of small particles that was later then explained by the theories of Einstein. And this is what they want to do. They want to commemorate this. They want to commemorate Robert Brown with this special bottling. It's a rather expensive bottling, as it's a very exclusive and very high qualitative bottling. It's not colored, not chill filtered, 46% ABV, and it's from 1990, so it's quite old. And it's limited to 3,600 bottles. So they even write the bottling date on there, so we can say it's probably 30 years old because it's from 1990 till 2020. Depends on what exact dates, if this is a 30-year-old bottle. But it's if it's just 29 3/4, that doesn't make any difference. They even give you the bottle number, nice, and a picture of Robert Brown on it. Yeah, it's not chill filtered, not colored, and the good thing is that it's matured in sherry casks. If you've watched the distillery video of Glenfarclas, you will find out that Glenfarclas has tons and tons of sherry casks within there. Oh my god, I can already smell it. Tons and tons of sherry casks within their warehouses. So they really got a really big variety of sherry casks, and even very old sherry casks. Why is that? That's because Glenfarclas is a family business, and this family business believes in success over generations, believes in preparing, and doesn't believe in overpricing. So they really want to maintain a brand. And if you look at the bottle, it doesn't look very like modern style. I think Glenfarclas is still quite the same brand as it was 20 years ago. I think they changed one or few writings on the cask, as the brand, the logo of Glenfarclas is just the way one of the old, as they've just written it in calligraph writing, and that was the brand of Glenfarclas. Now, there was one thing they couldn't read very properly, because that one letter, I'm not quite sure which letter it was a bit didn't look very good. So that's the only thing they changed. But the rest is very old school, because they don't believe in spending huge sums, millions, into a new branding campaign or new brand development, but they just say, hey, that's Glenfarclas. If you don't like the way our bottle looks, then you're not worth the what's inside the bottle. So yeah, that's Glenfarclas. If you'd like to know more about it, I've done a nice documentary about Glenfarclas at the distillery. Everything behind Glenfarclas, all the generations and all the production. It's very interesting topic. So let's have a look how this tastes. You can already smell, even from that distance, it's a very fruity and very oxidized whiskey. So you do have a lot of these dried fruits, tons and tons of it. Raisins, figs. Oh, it's one of these Christmas spirits whiskeys. You know, when back in the old days, like 25 years ago, when someone brought these dried fruit with nuts in them for Christmas, and as a child you ate them all. So that's what it smells like. A bit of orange in there as well. A bit of a mixture between zesty and juicy orange. Maybe even a blood orange or something like that. A bit darker than that normal orange. Not one of these juicy Georgia or Florida types, but more of a bit of a more bitter orange. Something in between an orange, blood orange, or grapefruit. Oh, and it's lovely. And you get the feeling of maturity in there. Yeah, a 30-year-old Glenfarclas is amazing. Has amazing capabilities. Oh, quite hefty. You really feel the 46% ABV, and the big intensity at the beginning is already complemented by a lovely sweetness, a lovely sherry sweetness. That's just it's sweet, fruity, caramel. Not this typical bourbon caramel, but more of a creamy caramel. More creamy than caramel. It's just a remembrance of caramel. So it's really, I would change it to creamy. You have so much caramel in the usual whiskeys with the virgin oak or the first fill bourbons that you immediately confuse it, but it's a creaminess. Oh, that's what it's all about with whiskey. Oh, that's what it's all about. A 30-year-old Glenfarclas, exceptional quality. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive. Is it worth it? I think it depends on how much you earn. It's around, I don't know, $240, 220 euros, something like that. So if it doesn't hurt spending it, then I would really recommend it, because it's just a beautiful, interesting whiskey. If you really have to count it up, then might be a bit more too expensive for you. But if you want to invest and if you want to really have something good, I could recommend it, because it's just a very lovely whiskey. And I think for all of you collectors out there, having one of these bottles, having the whole series would be a carte blanche, but having one of these bottles, they will definitely rise in price over the next decades. Yeah, definitely. This is one of these bottles that has everything on it. It's perfectly traceable to where it belongs to, where it comes from, and where it needs to be. So yeah, it's a really lovely example of a really, really good whiskey. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, and see you next time.